You're in the kitchen. You've just poured a cup of coffee. Finally. And then you hear it. Mom, I want juice. The whiny voice cuts through the quiet like a foghorn. You take a breath. You respond. You pour the juice. And before you've even had a sip of that coffee, there's another whine about the cup or the socks or something you can't even understand through the high-pitched tone. And suddenly you're asking yourself, why are they always whining? How can such a tiny person make such a big sound all day long? What am I doing wrong? If you've ever felt like your toddler's favorite communication style is whining, you're not alone. In fact, most toddlers go through a very whiny phase. But what if I told you that there's one really common thing many parents are doing without realizing it that can actually encourage more whining? And once you spot it, you can start shifting it right away. Let's dive in. You're not doing anything wrong. Before we get into the habit itself, let's make one thing very clear. This isn't about blaming you. You're showing up. You're trying your best, and you're navigating a very intense stage of development with a child who probably changes their mood more times before lunch than you thought was humanly possible. Parenting a toddler means constantly interpreting their behavior, their needs, their outbursts, and yes, their whining. So if you hear something in this video and realize, wait, I do that, don't panic. That's not failure, that's growth. Awareness is what leads to change. And this one little shift might be the secret ingredient to bringing more calm into your day. Responding faster to whining than to calm requests. So here it is, the one parenting mistake that tends to make toddlers whine even more. Responding more quickly or more consistently to whining than to calm communication. Sounds simple, right? But stay with me. Because even though this happens in homes everywhere, it usually comes from a place of good intentions. Let's break it down with a real-world example. Imagine your toddler calmly asks, I want a snack. You're in the middle of sending an email, folding laundry, or doing literally anything that makes the house function. So you respond with something like, just a minute, sweetie, or right after I finish this. But 2 seconds later, the whining starts. Ugh, snack, snack! And now, you stop what you're doing. You head to the kitchen. You grab the snack. Because let's be real, the whining is loud and stressful and you just need it to stop. Totally understandable. But here's what your toddler just learned from that exchange. When I ask nicely, I wait. But when I whine, I get results. And toddlers are absolute experts at pattern recognition. They may not articulate it that clearly, but they absolutely feel it. They notice what works, and their little brains are wired to repeat behavior that gets their needs met faster. So even though we might be encouraging calm behavior in our words, our actions can sometimes teach the opposite. Not because we're failing, but because we're human. We're tired. We're reacting. And sometimes the shortest path to peace in the house is just giving them the thing. But over time, that consistent pattern, where whining gets quicker results, starts to reinforce whining as the default. Here's the thing that's both fascinating and kind of maddening. Whining actually works on adults. In several studies, researchers found that whining, especially that high-pitched, drawn-out tone, is uniquely grating to the human brain. It's more distracting than crying. It's more emotionally triggering than a regular loud voice. It instantly raises our stress levels. Why? Because from an evolutionary perspective, whining is a distress call. It's your toddler's version of, pay attention to me now, something's not okay. Their nervous system is trying to activate yours. And when we respond to that sound quickly, whether out of empathy or exhaustion, we're reinforcing it without even meaning to. Your toddler isn't trying to annoy you. They're trying to solve a problem. This sound gets me what I need. This tone gets mom to turn around. This whine gets dad to stop what he's doing. That's not manipulation, it's just learning. So the key isn't to punish the whining or shut it down. The key is to shift what behavior gets the quickest, most positive results. This mistake shows up in so many subtle ways. Your toddler says, I want up, calmly, and you say, in a minute. Then they whine, up, and you immediately scoop them up. They ask, can I have the truck? And you're busy, so you say, not right now. Then they cry, whine, and fall on the floor, and you hand them the truck just to end the meltdown. Again, these are not parenting failures. These are survival tactics. But if the pattern repeats, whining gets rewarded more than calm words do. It's not about one moment. It's about the consistent message over time. Now here's the shift in perspective. This isn't about catching mistakes. This is about realizing how much power you have to influence your child's communication habits. Because once you understand that toddlers repeat what works, you can start showing them that calm communication works better. That doesn't mean expecting them to act like little adults. It means gently, consistently showing them what gets results and what doesn't. And over time, that helps them feel more capable, more heard, and more in control of their world. So what can you do differently? How can you gently flip this pattern so your toddler learns that whining doesn't actually work better? We'll talk about that in the next part of the video, where we break down the exact ways to respond to whining that don't involve ignoring or scolding, but still teach your toddler better ways to express themselves. And stick around, because one of the tips is something most parents skip, but it might just be the thing that turns those whiny moments into proud, calm requests. Before we go on, take a second and breathe. This isn't about being perfect. It's not about catching every moment or never reacting to whining again. It's about awareness. It's about those small, consistent shifts that tell your child, you don't have to scream to be heard. You don't have to whine to be seen. I'm listening, and I want to help you learn how to use your voice in a way that works. That's not discipline, that's emotional coaching. And the fact that you're here learning about it means you're already doing more than you think. Now that you know the hidden habit that can lead to more whining, responding faster to the whiny voice than the calm one, you might be wondering, okay, but how do I change that? What does that actually look like in the middle of a busy, noisy day? That's what we're diving into now. These strategies are simple. They don't require special tools, scripts, or long explanations. Just small shifts in how you respond. Small choices that, over time, help your toddler learn. My calm voice works. Whining doesn't get me what I want. Mom and Dad hear me better when I speak nicely. And here's the best part. You can start this shift right away. No big reset, no perfect setup, just one interaction at a time. This step is the heart of the shift. It's simple, powerful, and often missed in the chaos of everyday parenting. Whenever your toddler makes a request using a calm voice, even if it's a little whiny adjacent, even if it's not perfect, respond as quickly and warmly as you reasonably can. For example, your child says, "Snack, please," in a relatively normal tone. You're in the middle of making dinner. You might be tempted to delay, but this is your golden moment. Even if you can't give them a snack right that second, you can respond right away with acknowledgement. "Wow, you asked so nicely. I love your calm voice. I'm finishing dinner, but let's pick a snack together when I'm done, okay?" You're not giving them the snack yet, but you are giving them attention, validation, connection. And that teaches them, when I speak calmly, someone listens. I matter. You don't need to shower them in praise. Even a soft smile and a "thanks for asking nicely" can go a long way. Now here's the important part. When your toddler does start whining, don't ignore them completely, but don't rush to solve the problem either. Why? Because toddlers whine when they feel out of control. Ignoring them outright can sometimes escalate the behavior, because now they feel unheard and upset. But responding quickly, giving in right away, also reinforces the habit. So what's the balance? It's this: acknowledge the need, but pause the action. Let's say your toddler starts whining, "Juice, I want juice." Instead of jumping up to grab the juice or pretending you don't hear, you might calmly say, "I hear you want juice. Can you ask me in a calm voice so I can understand you better?" That's it. You're not scolding, you're not rewarding the whining, you're inviting them to try again. And when they do, even if it's just a little bit better than before, you jump on that opportunity. "There you go, much better. I love that voice. Let's get your juice now." Now, the juice isn't a reward for whining, it's a response to improved communication. That's the shift. Toddlers learn by imitation. They watch your face, they mirror your tone, they listen to the rhythm of your words, long before they understand every meaning. So if whining has taken over your house, one powerful way to help reset it is by consistently modeling the tone you want to hear. That doesn't mean you have to speak in soft whispers all day long, but it does mean being aware of your tone when you're redirecting, correcting, or responding to stress. Let's say your child says, "I want my truck," in a whiny tone. Instead of saying, "Stop whining," you can try this. Can you say, "I want my truck, please," like this? Then model it calmly. Toddlers often respond well to modeling because it gives them something concrete to copy. You're not just telling them to use a nice voice, you're showing them what it sounds like. And over time, they'll start using that modeled tone naturally because it feels good, it gets better results, and it matches the energy they see in you. Here's where the real-life parenting challenge shows up. Consistency sounds great in theory, but we all know life with toddlers is anything but predictable. You might manage to respond perfectly 8 times, and then the 9th time, after a long day, you just give in. And that's okay. Perfection isn't the goal. Predictability is. What helps most is making a habit of responding to calm voices more positively and more quickly than to whiny ones most of the time. The overall pattern is what teaches your toddler what works. That also means holding boundaries gently but firmly, even when it's hard. If your toddler is whining for candy before dinner and you've already said no, try to keep the limit without making them feel punished for the emotion. "I know you really want candy. It's hard to wait, but we're going to eat dinner first. We'll have something sweet afterward." And if they start whining louder, take a breath. Stay calm and repeat the boundary without raising your voice. You're upset. That's okay. But the answer is still after dinner. This is where you're teaching not just about communication, but about emotional regulation. One of the best ways to teach your toddler how to use their voice? Practice when the stakes are low. Toddlers don't learn best in the middle of a meltdown. They learn through repetition, connection, and play. So during quiet moments, you might try role-playing with stuffed animals. "Look, Bunny wants a snack." Should she yell or ask nicely? "Let's try snack, please." "Good job, Bunny." Or when reading books, point out how characters use their words. "Wow, Daniel Tiger asked for help so nicely. Did you hear that?" That's a great way to ask. You're making calm communication feel fun, safe, and powerful. And when those high emotion moments do come up, your toddler already has a toolkit to draw from. Reducing whining isn't just about making your day quieter, although that's definitely a perk. It's about helping your child feel capable. When toddlers realize that calm voices work, that they can be heard without yelling or whining, it builds confidence. It builds language. It builds trust. And it helps them to believe, "My words have power. I don't have to scream to be seen. I can express myself in a way that feels good for me and for the people I love." That's not just behavior management. That's emotional development. And you're the guide. Now, if you're thinking, "This all makes sense, but I've been reacting to whining for so long, is it really possible to turn things around?" The answer is absolutely yes. Toddlers are remarkably quick learners. They pick up on patterns fast and often adapt even faster than we expect. Change won't happen overnight. It might take a few days, maybe a few weeks. But if you stay consistent, if you prioritize your response to calm voices, pause when the whining begins, and gently guide your toddler to try again with a better tone, you will start to notice a shift. Not all at once, not perfectly, but gradually and meaningfully. A calmer tone here, a soft please where there used to be a wail. These little wins build up. You're not just addressing a behavior. You're helping your child develop lifelong communication skills, and that's a pretty incredible thing. So, what's one small shift you can make today? Maybe it's modeling a calm voice. Maybe it's pausing when your child whines. Or maybe it's just noticing when they ask nicely and making sure to smile and say, "Thanks for your kind voice." Let me know in the comments what resonated most with you. I'd love to hear what patterns you're noticing at home and what you're trying to shift. And if you found this video helpful, consider subscribing for more calm, practical parenting tips that build skills without shame. Before you go, be sure to check the links in the description. I've included some helpful toddler communication tools, books, and printable prompts to help support calm, confident voices at home. You've got this. You're doing a great job, and your toddler is lucky to have you. See you next time.